Wealth truly begins in the mind long before it ever appears in your bank account. David Tepper's approach teaches us that mindset is the foundation of financial success. Every decision, every risk, and every investment starts with the way you think about money. Tepper doesn't see challenges as obstacles. He sees them as opportunities waiting to be seized. Fear, doubt, and hesitation are the silent killers of wealth. They make people freeze at the edge of opportunity, watching potential slip through their fingers. But those who cultivate a mindset of abundance, discipline, and strategic focus act differently. They see every setback as a lesson, every market fluctuation as a chance to reposition, and every dollar as a tool capable of generating far more than its nominal value. Believing in compounding is not just an investment strategy, it is a way of life. Tepper understands that money has the power to work for you, but only if you allow it to grow instead of stagnating. Each dollar you save, invest, and reinvest is like a soldier you send into battle on your behalf. Some may face resistance, some may encounter losses, but collectively, with the right strategy and consistent nurturing, they multiply and create forces far greater than any single effort. This is why early financial discipline matters more than timing the market perfectly or chasing short-term trends. Compounding rewards patience and foresight. It rewards those who trust in the process, even when results aren't immediately visible. A key part of developing the right mindset is to always focus on opportunity instead of fear. Many people make financial decisions driven by anxiety, afraid to invest, afraid to take calculated risks, afraid to step outside the comfort zone of guaranteed but limited returns. Tepper's philosophy is the opposite. He trains himself to spot possibilities where others see only risk. This mental orientation changes everything. It allows you to act decisively, confidently, and strategically, turning what might appear to be threats into stepping stones toward massive gains. Every dollar you control can become a powerful ally if treated with purpose. Think of your money not as something to spend or hide, but as an active participant in your wealth-building journey. Allocate it intelligently, reinvest your gains, and constantly evaluate its performance. Like a commander directing troops, you guide your dollars into positions where they can achieve the maximum impact. This disciplined, proactive view of money transforms the way you approach life as a whole, aligning your decisions, habits, and strategies with long-term growth. Ultimately, wealth is a reflection of how you think. If your mind is dominated by fear, hesitation, or short-term thinking, your finances will mirror that. But if you embrace opportunity, trust in compounding, and view every dollar as an agent of growth, you set in motion a process that can transform your financial future. Tepper's mindset is not about luck or timing. It is about cultivating a disciplined, opportunity-focused mental framework that turns small beginnings into monumental outcomes. Wealth, in essence, begins in the mind, and from there, every deliberate action compounds to create extraordinary results. Your first $100,000 is more than just a number. It is the foundation upon which all future wealth is built. David Tepper's journey teaches us that this initial capital is not a finish line, but the critical launching pad for compounding, strategic investments, and life-changing financial growth. Reaching this milestone requires more than luck. It demands discipline, focus, and a relentless commitment to making smart financial choices every single day. The process begins with taking a hard look at your expenses. Every dollar spent is a dollar that could be working for you, generating more dollars in the future. Cutting unnecessary costs is not about deprivation, it's about prioritization. Every small saving, when consistently applied over time, contributes directly to the growth of your financial foundation. Tepper understood that waiting for the perfect conditions was a trap that kept people stagnant. Instead, he created opportunities through deliberate actions, strategic thinking, and the courage to make bold moves, even when the market or circumstances seemed uncertain. Increasing your income streams is the second pillar of building your 100,000 foundation. Relying on a single source of income limits your growth potential. Tepper always looked for ways to multiply his resources, whether through investments, business ventures, or strategic financial opportunities. Diversifying your income is not merely about having multiple jobs, it's about creating avenues that work for you even when you sleep. Every extra dollar earned can be reinvested, compounding over time and accelerating the journey toward financial independence. This strategy requires creativity, initiative, and a willingness to step outside your comfort zone. It's about identifying gaps in the market, leveraging your skills, and being unafraid to take calculated risks. Discipline is the fuel that turns these actions into tangible results. Without discipline, saving, investing, and increasing income streams remain intentions rather than achievements. Discipline means showing up consistently, making decisions that may be uncomfortable in the short term, but pay massive dividends in the long term, and resisting the temptation to indulge in instant gratification. Tepper's success is a testament to this principle. He didn't wait for perfect timing, market conditions, or external validation. He created the conditions he needed through rigorous planning, bold action, and unwavering focus. The foundation your first to 100K is built on the same principle, proactive creation rather than passive hope. Every financial decision you make at this stage matters exponentially more than you might realize. Each dollar saved, invested, or reinvested compounds into a future that can far surpass your current imagination. The discipline you cultivate, the expenses you cut, and the income streams you build now will define the trajectory of your wealth for decades. Tepper's journey demonstrates that foundational wealth is not about luck. It's about intentional action, calculated risk, taking, and a relentless drive to create the conditions for success. Your first, the 100K, is the cornerstone of your financial empire, the proof that you have the focus, discipline, and foresight to grow something extraordinary. Treat it as such, and it will multiply far beyond what you ever thought possible. Compounding is one of the most powerful forces in wealth creation, yet so many people underestimate its potential. It's often taught as a mathematical concept, a formula on a page, but in reality, compounding is much more than numbers. It's the result of time, patience, and discipline, intelligent decision-making. David Tepper understands this principle deeply. For him, compounding is not just about making money, it's about making money work for you tirelessly, even when you aren't actively engaged. Every dollar invested wisely has the potential to generate more dollars, and those dollars, in turn, generate even more. This creates a snowball effect where your wealth accelerates faster and faster, provided you respect the process and give it time to unfold. The first key to harnessing compounding is to start early. Time is the most underrated asset in finance. The earlier you invest, the longer your money has to grow, and the more powerful the effect becomes. Even small amounts, if consistently invested and reinvested, can snowball into extraordinary sums over decades. Tepper didn't wait until he had everything figured out or until he had a perfect market. He started making decisions, taking action, and allowing his early gains to multiply. Every year, every month, every day that your money is invested in compounding is another step toward exponential growth. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to achieve the same results, and the opportunity cost can be enormous. Reinvesting returns is the second critical component. Simply earning a return is not enough. Letting that return sit idle is leaving money on the table. Compounding requires reinvestment so that each gain becomes a seed for further growth. Tepper's strategy always involved taking profits and redeploying them intelligently, whether in markets, businesses, or other high-conviction opportunities. This cycle of reinvestment allows your money to continuously generate new opportunities and multiply faster than linear growth would allow. Over time, the effects are dramatic. What may begin as a modest investment can evolve into a fortune because of the relentless momentum created by compounding. Compounding is also about making smart decisions consistently. Time alone is not enough. Poor investments, reckless spending, or emotional decisions can destroy growth. Tepper's success is built on disciplined analysis, patience, and calculated risks. Each decision compounds alongside the dollars you've already invested. The combination of intelligent choices and the relentless passage of time is what turns modest beginnings into life-changing wealth. Ultimately, compounding teaches patience, discipline, and respect for the process. It rewards those who act early, reinvest consistently, and make smart, informed decisions. It's not a quick fix. It's a long-term strategy that multiplies effort and intention over time. For anyone seeking financial freedom or exponential wealth, compounding is not just a tool, it is the foundation. Treat your money as a relentless worker, reinvest gains, and allow time to amplify your results. This principle, embraced fully and applied consistently, has the power to turn the first 100,000 into 100 million, just as it has done for countless successful investors who understand that true wealth is built, not wished for. Putting your capital where it counts is one of the most important principles in building extraordinary wealth, and it is a lesson David Tepper mastered early in his career. Wealth is not created by scattering money aimlessly across dozens of small, mediocre opportunities. It is built by concentrating resources where the potential for meaningful growth is greatest. Tepper understood that every dollar in your portfolio is a tool, a soldier, a seed that can grow into something much larger if planted in the right place. Spreading risk is necessary to protect against catastrophic loss, but over-diversification can dilute returns and slow the compounding of wealth. The key is to balance protection with conviction, allocate capital where your analysis, insight, and confidence tell you the odds of success are highest. Tepper's greatest bets were never random. They were the result of careful evaluation, deep research, and a willingness to commit boldly when he believed the opportunity was exceptional. Focusing on high conviction opportunities means identifying situations where the upside potential significantly outweighs the downside risk. Tepper would study market inefficiencies, analyze company fundamentals, and monitor broader economic trends to spot where value was hidden and others had overlooked it. Once he identified these opportunities, he invested decisively and in meaningful amounts. This level of conviction requires both courage and discipline. It is easy to second-guess yourself when you are committing a significant portion of your capital, especially when markets are volatile or opinions are divided. Tepper's success came from trusting his analysis, maintaining confidence in his judgment, and ignoring the noise that distracts so many investors from their high conviction plays. At the same time, risk must be managed intelligently. Putting capital where it counts does not mean abandoning caution. It means taking calculated risks. Tepper balanced boldness with prudence. He did not bet recklessly. He allocated resources based on probabilities, potential impact, and timing. Each investment was carefully sized relative to his overall portfolio, ensuring that even if a bet failed, it would not compromise his entire financial foundation. This combination of strategic focus and risk management allowed him to make large, high conviction bets without exposing himself to catastrophic loss, turning smart allocation into a powerful wealth-building engine. Another crucial aspect is patience. High conviction opportunities often take time to realize their full potential. Tepper understood that results are not always immediate and that market cycles can be unpredictable. By putting capital where it counts and allowing time for his investments to mature, he harnessed the full power of compounding and strategic positioning. This patience, combined with his analytical rigor and fearless approach to opportunity, allowed him to capture outsized returns that others, constrained by fear or short-term thinking, would miss. Ultimately, the lesson is clear: wealth grows fastest when you focus your resources on what truly matters. Tepper's strategy demonstrates that success comes not from scattering investments, but from concentrating capital where insight, research, and conviction align. High conviction opportunities require courage, discipline, and patience, but when executed properly, they generate returns far beyond what cautious, unfocused investing can achieve. The ability to put your capital where it counts, boldly yet strategically, is what separates extraordinary investors from the rest, turning smart decisions into life-changing wealth over time. One of the most overlooked secrets of wealth creation is the ability to resist the temptation to cash out too early. David Tepper's approach to investing demonstrates that patience and reinvestment are far more powerful than immediate gratification. Too often, people see a profit and are tempted to take it, thinking they have made it or secured their gains. While it may feel satisfying in the moment, cashing out prematurely interrupts the compounding process, limits potential growth, and keeps wealth from reaching its full potential. Every dollar that is withdrawn instead of being reinvested is a dollar that could have multiplied, creating exponential returns over time. Tepper understood this principle deeply. The longer you allow your capital and profits to stay in motion, the faster your journey from $100 into $1 million accelerates. Letting profits work for you requires discipline and vision. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of seeing your money grow, but true wealth comes from foresight and self-control. Tepper would never let a small gain distract him from the bigger opportunity. He understood that reinvested gains compound with the original capital, creating a force multiplier effect that far surpasses what is possible by taking profits too early. This is why high net worth investors and successful market players often talk about the snowball effect of money. Once your capital is rolling and reinvesting, growth accelerates in a way that is almost invisible in the short term, but explosive in the long term. Reinvestment is not just about putting money back into the same asset. It's about strategically redeploying profits where they can generate the highest returns. Tepper would analyze the market constantly, looking for new opportunities to position his gains in areas with the best risk-reward profile. This mindset transforms every successful investment into a seed for the next opportunity, creating a continuous cycle of growth. Each reinvested dollar is effectively a soldier going back into the field, multiplying its impact and building momentum for future gains. Cashing out too early also limits the psychological advantage of compounding. When profits are reinvested, they become part of a larger system that grows quietly but relentlessly. Over time, this process not only increases financial returns, but also reinforces discipline, patience, and strategic thinking. Tepper's success is a direct reflection of this principle. By staying committed to reinvestment, he allowed small gains to evolve into massive returns, turning modest beginnings into a financial empire. The lesson is simple, but profound. Resist the urge to take profits too soon. Trust in the power of compounding, and let your capital work harder than you do. Every reinvested dollar accelerates your journey from your first 100,000 under to 1 million and beyond. Wealth is built not by isolated wins, but by the consistent, disciplined accumulation of gains over time. Patience, strategy, and reinvestment are the engines that turn early success into lasting, life-changing wealth. And the sooner you embrace this mindset, the faster your financial trajectory can reach extraordinary heights. Mistakes are an inevitable part of any journey toward wealth. But David Tepper teaches us that they are not failures, they are tuition. Every misstep, every wrong decision, every loss is an opportunity to learn, adapt, and improve. Most people view mistakes with fear, embarrassment, or regret, allowing them to linger in their minds and shape future decisions negatively. Tepper's mindset is different. He sees mistakes as essential feedback, information that reveals where assumptions were wrong, where judgment can be sharpened, and where strategy can be improved. In this sense, mistakes are investments in your future knowledge and capability. The cost of a misstep is small compared to the lesson it teaches, and the insights gained can compound over time, just like capital in the market. Tepper approaches every setback with analytical rigor. He dissects every error to understand exactly what went wrong and why. Was it a misjudgment of risk, a failure to read the market correctly, a timing issue? By identifying the root cause, he transforms each mistake into actionable intelligence. This process allows him to recalibrate his strategies, refine his decision-making process, and avoid repeating the same errors. In essence, each mistake becomes a stepping stone towards smarter, more profitable choices in the future. This willingness to study and learn from failure is what separates exceptional investors from those who stagnate or give up at the first sign of difficulty. Another important aspect of this mindset is emotional resilience. Mistakes can shake confidence, induce doubt, or trigger fear of future failure. Tepper's approach shows that the right perspective neutralizes these emotional pitfalls. By treating mistakes as tuition rather than catastrophe, he maintains clarity and composure even when outcomes are unfavorable. This emotional control allows him to continue making bold, calculated decisions without being paralyzed by past missteps. It also encourages a long-term perspective, understanding that one loss does not define a career, a strategy, or a journey toward wealth. Mistakes also serve as a mirror, revealing blind spots and areas for growth. Tepper uses them to refine his instincts, sharpen his analytical skills, and improve his ability to evaluate risk and opportunity. Every miscalculation carries valuable information that, if internalized, makes the next decision more informed, precise, and likely to succeed over time. The cumulative effect of learning from mistakes compounds into superior judgment, a competitive advantage that is often far more valuable than any short-term profit. Ultimately, viewing mistakes as tuition is a mindset of growth, resilience, and relentless improvement. Tepper demonstrates that missteps are not setbacks. They are opportunities to grow smarter, stronger, and more capable. By embracing this perspective, you transform fear into curiosity, loss into insight, and failure into preparation for future success. Every error becomes a lesson, every lesson a building block, and every building block a step closer to extraordinary wealth. Mistakes are not the enemy. They are the cost of learning, the tuition that pays dividends for a lifetime. Time is one of the most powerful assets in wealth creation, yet it is often underestimated or misunderstood. David Tepper treats time not as a constraint, but as an ally, a strategic partner in building extraordinary wealth. Many people rush decisions, chase trends, or act impulsively, hoping to capture quick gains. The result is often short-lived success or avoidable losses. Tepper's approach is different. He understands that patience, when paired with careful analysis and strategic timing, creates opportunities that few others can see or seize. Waiting for the right moment is not an action, It is a deliberate strategy that allows him to strike with precision, ensuring that every move has maximum impact. Time, therefore, is not something to race against. It is something to leverage, to compound, and to allow strategic decisions to unfold in their full potential. Patience compounded with action is a combination few can master. Tepper knows that waiting alone is not enough. You must also prepare while you wait. This preparation involves constant research, monitoring market trends, analyzing risk, and positioning capital so that when the moment arrives, you can act decisively. The power of patience is magnified when combined with action at the precise moment of opportunity. Hesitation after the right moment has passed can turn potential gains into missed chances. Tepper's brilliance lies in his ability to balance patience and readiness. He allows time to work in his favor, yet he is always poised to act with speed, confidence, and precision when the conditions are optimal. Understanding the value of time also means recognizing that wealth compounds over the long term. Short-term fluctuations, market noise, or temporary setbacks are irrelevant compared to the exponential growth that occurs when capital strategy and timing align over years. Tepper's strategy demonstrates that success is not about constant activity. It is about deliberate, calculated moves that take advantage of temporal dynamics. Time gives your investments the space to mature, your strategies the chance to succeed, and your decisions the ability to compound into extraordinary returns. Moreover, using time as an ally requires discipline and emotional control. Waiting for the right moment can be frustrating, especially when markets move unpredictably or opportunities seem scarce. Tepper maintains clarity and confidence during these periods, refusing to act out of impatience or fear of missing out. This discipline ensures that when he does strike, his moves are powerful and well-timed, often producing results far greater than those who act hastily. Time rewards those who respect it, and Tepper consistently demonstrates how patience aligned with preparation and action can create outsized outcomes. Ultimately, time is more than a passive element in wealth creation. It is a multiplier, an enhancer, and a silent partner that works for those who understand its value. Tepper's approach teaches that waiting strategically, preparing continuously, and acting decisively when the moment is right transforms patience from a passive virtue into an unstoppable force. In the journey from your first 100 zals into 1 million and beyond, mastering the use of time allows every decision, every investment, and every effort to compound with power and precision, turning patience into one of your greatest competitive advantages. Chasing small wins is one of the most common traps that keeps people stuck in mediocrity, both in investing and in life. David Tepper's approach demonstrates that extraordinary wealth is never built on incremental gains alone. It is created by pursuing opportunities with the potential for massive upside. Tepper doesn't settle for the comfort of predictable but limited returns. He seeks situations where leverage multiplies his efforts and positions him to capture outsized rewards. Small, incremental wins may feel safe, but they rarely change the trajectory of your life or financial future. True growth comes from identifying and committing to opportunities that have the power to transform your wealth, career, and life in a significant way. To achieve this, you must develop the ability to see beyond the obvious and the conventional. Tepper looks for opportunities that others overlook or undervalue, situations where the market's perception of risk is distorted or where leverage can dramatically amplify returns. This requires patience, insight, and a willingness to step away from the crowd. Most people are content with what is easy, visible, and low risk, but these choices limit potential. Tepper understands that extraordinary results come from extraordinary positions. He focuses his capital, energy, and attention on high conviction bets that can produce exponential outcomes. In other words, he doesn't just want to participate in success. He wants to dominate it where the math, timing, and leverage work in his favor. Leverage is a critical element in pursuing massive upside. This doesn't mean taking reckless risks or borrowing blindly. It means identifying opportunities where your resources, capital, skills, or influence can be multiplied. Tepper uses leverage strategically, combining his expertise, insight, and timing to magnify returns. By focusing on high-impact opportunities and applying leverage intelligently, he turns a single decision into an outcome far greater than what would be possible through conventional, cautious approaches. This principle applies not only to investing, but to career moves, business decisions, and any area where risk and reward intersect. Another key element of seeking massive upside is the mindset to ignore small, easy wins that don't matter in the bigger picture. Tepper avoids distractions and keeps his eye on the ultimate goal, This means resisting the temptation of short-term satisfaction, staying focused on long-term objectives, and committing to opportunities with the potential to change the game entirely. It requires patience, discipline, and a willingness to endure periods of uncertainty while waiting for the right moment to act decisively. Ultimately, building extraordinary wealth is about choosing quality over quantity, power over comfort, and leverage over mediocrity. Tepper's philosophy teaches that chasing small wins may feel safe, but it will never produce life-changing results. Instead, focus on opportunities with massive upside where your skills, capital, and timing can be multiplied to their fullest potential. By seeking these high leverage positions and committing with confidence, you create the conditions for exponential growth, turning ambition and insight into transformative success. This is the mindset that separates ordinary investors from extraordinary wealth creators. Market knowledge is one of the most potent tools an investor can possess, and David Tepper's career demonstrates how deep understanding and foresight create a decisive edge. Knowledge is not passive, it is active, disciplined, and constantly evolving. Tepper invests countless hours analyzing markets, studying trends, and understanding the forces that drive value, supply, and demand. While most investors react to headlines, rumors, and short-term fluctuations, Tepper focuses on the underlying dynamics that shape long-term outcomes. Market knowledge is power because it allows you to anticipate opportunities, assess risks accurately, and position yourself ahead of the crowd rather than following it. Those who fail to study the market are essentially blind, relying on luck rather than strategy, and luck is rarely consistent. Reading, analyzing, and adapting are the three pillars of Tepper's market mastery. Reading involves more than skimming news or quarterly reports. It requires deep engagement with financial statements, economic indicators, market sentiment, and the strategies of other successful investors. Tepper absorbs vast amounts of information, not to be overwhelmed by it, but to identify patterns, inefficiencies, and potential turning points. Analysis is the next step. This is where insight transforms information into actionable intelligence. Tepper evaluates what he reads critically, connecting dots that most people miss, assessing probabilities, and considering scenarios from multiple angles. This disciplined analysis turns market knowledge into strategic foresight, allowing him to make high conviction decisions that others might shy away from. Adaptation is equally critical. Markets are never static, trends shift, regulations change, and global events create volatility. Tepper's edge comes from his ability to adjust his strategies in real time, responding to new information while maintaining a clear view of long-term objectives. Flexibility, paired with deep knowledge, allows him to capitalize on emerging opportunities before they become obvious to the broader market. He doesn't chase trends after they explode. He positions himself ahead of them, turning insight into advantage. This requires patience, discipline, and the courage to act before the crowd validates the move, often going against conventional wisdom until the trend becomes undeniable. Understanding market trends before they explode is what separates ordinary investors from extraordinary ones. Tepper identifies sectors, companies, or economic shifts that are poised for significant growth and positions capital strategically. Timing is crucial. Being early allows for outsized returns, while being late often means settling for mediocre gains. This forward-looking approach transforms market knowledge into real wealth-building power. It is not about speculation. It is about strategic positioning based on rigorous research, informed analysis, and a clear understanding of leverage and risk. Ultimately, market knowledge is the engine that drives intelligent, high-impact decisions. Tepper's success is a testament to the idea that insight, preparation, and foresight are far more valuable than luck or timing alone. By reading deeply, analyzing rigorously, and adapting swiftly, you gain the ability to anticipate change, seize opportunities, and achieve results that others cannot. Knowledge empowers action, and when combined with strategy, conviction, and discipline, it becomes a multiplier of wealth. Those who cultivate this skill set are equipped to turn understanding into extraordinary financial outcomes. Surrounding yourself with the right people is one of the most underrated strategies for building wealth and achieving success, and David Tepper exemplifies this principle at the highest level. Success is rarely a solo journey. It is shaped by the network of individuals who challenge, inspire, and elevate you. Tepper understood early in his career that relationships are more than social connections. They are strategic assets that provide knowledge, perspective, opportunities, and leverage that money alone cannot buy. While talent, discipline, and capital are critical, The people you choose to surround yourself with amplify your abilities, expand your vision, and create openings that might otherwise remain inaccessible. Tepper doesn't just collect acquaintances, he cultivates meaningful relationships with individuals who stretch his thinking, expose him to new ideas, and push him beyond his comfort zone. He understands that people who challenge you force you to refine your perspective, anticipate counter-arguments, and strengthen your decision-making. These relationships act as a mirror, reflecting blind spots you might otherwise miss and helping you grow faster than you could alone. In an environment where many people settle for confirmation and easy agreement, Tepper actively seeks engagement with minds that are smarter, sharper, and more experienced in areas that complement his own strengths. This approach ensures continuous learning and keeps him ahead of the curve. Building relationships that open doors also requires generosity, trust, and integrity. Tepper invests time, energy, and attention into understanding others, offering value, and creating mutually beneficial connections. True opportunity rarely comes from transactional interactions. It comes from genuine relationships built on respect, shared goals, and credibility. When you cultivate this type of network, doors open that money cannot buy: access to insider insights, early stage opportunities, mentorship, and collaborations that dramatically accelerate growth. Tepper's ability to navigate these networks strategically allows him to capitalize on opportunities that are invisible to most investors who lack the same access or trust. Another critical aspect is the courage to walk away from negative influences. Tepper surrounds himself with individuals who elevate his thinking, not those who hold him back, drain his energy, or reinforce limiting beliefs. Toxic or unmotivated people can quietly erode confidence, distract from focus, and create a culture of mediocrity. By carefully choosing your inner circle, you create an environment where ambition, excellence, and accountability are the norm. This environment pushes you to achieve more, think bigger, and act more decisively than you could in isolation. Ultimately, the people around you are catalysts for growth. Tepper demonstrates that wealth and opportunity are not built in isolation. They are created through strategic, high-quality relationships. Surrounding yourself with individuals who challenge, inspire, and elevate you multiplies your knowledge, expands your reach, and opens doors that money alone cannot unlock. These relationships compound over time, just like capital, producing exponential returns in knowledge, influence, and opportunity. In the journey from your first $100,000 to extraordinary wealth, the company you keep can be as powerful a force as your discipline, skill, or strategy, turning potential into achievement and vision into reality. The first $100,000 you accumulate is more than just a milestone. It is a spark, the ignition point that has the potential to set your entire financial journey ablaze. David Tepper's approach to wealth creation teaches us that early capital is not an endpoint. It is the foundation, the launch pad for exponential growth. While reaching this number requires discipline, saving, and smart decisions, it is what you do next that determines whether that spark becomes a roaring fire or fizzles out. Vision, consistency, and relentless execution are the fuel that transforms a modest nest egg into $1 million outcome. Tepper's success demonstrates that wealth is not created by luck alone. It is created by deliberate, focused action over time, by the accumulation of small, smart choices that compound into extraordinary results. Vision is the first element in this transformation. Tepper's journey shows that you must see beyond the immediate milestone of 100,000 and imagine what is possible if your capital is multiplied strategically. Vision is about setting long-term goals that stretch your thinking, inspire action, and guide every financial decision. It allows you to prioritize high-impact opportunities, avoid distractions, and maintain focus on the moves that truly matter. Without a clear vision, it is easy to become complacent, content with small wins, or sidetracked by short-term temptations. Vision gives purpose to your savings, investments, and risk-taking. It transforms a number into a meaningful, actionable pathway toward lasting wealth. Consistency is the second critical component. The journey from your first $100,000 to $1 million is not a single leap. It is a series of disciplined actions executed repeatedly over time. Tepper exemplifies this principle through his methodical approach to investing, saving, and reinvesting profits. Small, consistent actions, whether it is adding to your investment portfolio, cutting unnecessary expenses, or seeking out new income streams, compound over months and years into significant growth. Consistency transforms potential into reality, turning good decisions into powerful habits and reliable momentum that accelerates progress. Relentless execution is the final element that converts vision and consistency into tangible outcomes. Tepper doesn't just plan or dream, he acts decisively. Execution means taking bold strategic moves, committing capital to high conviction opportunities, and continually reinvesting profits to maximize growth. Relentless execution requires courage, focus, and the willingness to act when others hesitate. Every decision, big or small, becomes a building block for your financial future. Tepper's edge comes not only from identifying opportunities, but from acting on them decisively and consistently, creating the conditions for compounding to work at its maximum potential. Ultimately, the first $100 is the spark, but the $1 million outcome comes from aligning vision, consistency, and relentless execution. Every choice you make today, every dollar you save, invest, and reinvest compounds over time, shaping the trajectory of your future wealth. Tepper's journey reminds us that extraordinary results are not the product of luck. They are the outcome of disciplined thinking, bold action, and unwavering commitment. Treat your early capital as a launch pad. Let your vision guide your strategy, maintain consistency in your efforts, and execute relentlessly. By doing so, you harness the compounding power of both money and action, turning a spark into a financial blaze that can transform your life. David Tepper didn't become a billionaire by waiting for the perfect opportunity or wishing for luck to deliver him success. His journey to extraordinary wealth was the result of disciplined action, calculated risk taking, and a deep understanding of the power of compounding. Many people view their first $100 as an endpoint, a number to be celebrated and then held safely. Tepper teaches us that this milestone is not a finish line. It is a launch pad. It represents the starting point for exponential growth, a foundation on which disciplined decisions, strategic action, and long-term vision can transform modest capital into life-changing wealth. The way you manage, invest, and reinvest that initial capital determines whether it remains stagnant or becomes a powerful engine for future success. Discipline is the cornerstone of Tepper's approach. He understood early on that wealth is not created by luck, talent alone, or by sporadic effort. It is built by consistent, intentional action over time. Every decision, from the way he allocated capital to the research he conducted before investing, was guided by a clear strategy and unwavering focus. Discipline means showing up even when the market is uncertain, sticking to your plan when emotions tempt you to deviate, and making choices that prioritize long-term growth over short-term gratification. Tepper's results demonstrate that disciplined action, repeated and reinforced over years, compounds into extraordinary outcomes. Embracing risk is another essential component. Tepper didn't shy away from uncertainty or volatility. He sought opportunities where others saw danger. He evaluated risk carefully, analyzed potential outcomes, and positioned himself where the reward significantly outweighed the potential loss. Smart risk-taking accelerates wealth far faster than safe, incremental strategies. The first $100 becomes far more than a static milestone when it is deployed strategically into high-conviction opportunities, leveraged thoughtfully, and allowed to grow over time. Tepper's success shows that calculated risk, paired with knowledge and timing, multiplies returns in ways that waiting or hesitating never can. Compounding is the final force that turns disciplined action and risk into extraordinary results. Each reinvested dollar builds upon the last, generating growth that accelerates over time. Tepper understood that wealth does not grow linearly. It grows exponentially when profits are reinvested, opportunities are leveraged, and time is given to work in your favor. The magic of compounding transforms early gains into enormous outcomes, allowing your first $100,000 to evolve into $1 million and eventually far beyond. Your journey begins today. The first $100 you earn or save is the spark, but the fire comes from the choices you make in this moment, how you invest, where you take risk, and how consistently you execute your plan. Start smart, stay focused, and let compounding amplify your efforts. Tepper's path demonstrates that extraordinary wealth is not a matter of luck or waiting. It is the result of decisive action, strategic risk, and disciplined growth. The opportunity is yours now. The journey to $1 million begins with the decisions you make today, and the financial future you build is limited only by your focus, courage, and commitment.